Hello, everybody, and welcome to another setup of divisional predictions. This time, we're doing the entirety of the NFC. As you can see on screen, we did the AFC last time, so we're gonna go straight back right into the NFC. We're gonna begin same directional order as we did the AFC. So we're doing the NFC East first, and this division has a trend. They have not had a repeat division winner since 2005. And I think that trend is going to continue here with a team that is very hungry after a disappointing season last year. That's the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they bounced back. Last season did not end how they wanted with a wild card round loss to Tampa. And yes, Jason Kelsey did retire. I still think Philly is going to be a great team. They added Saquon Barkley to it. They still got Hurts, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. Their defense is still in a good spot. I still really like what Philly has. And again, they nearly won this division last year, but the season collapsed. It didn't end how I wanted to. They're going to be hungry. They're going to be feisty. So I believe that they will bounce back and win the division this year. Now, for second place, I have the New York Giants. Not necessarily because I really, really love how the Giants have their team built. More so because I don't trust Dallas this year. And again, the Giants, I still trust enough to be second place in this division and potentially be a playoff team. Well, yes, losing Saquon sucks. For the most part, they still have a really solid core. I really like Malik Neighbors. I feel like Daniel Jones is going to get back to that $40 million QB play style. And their defense is still really, really solid. And plus, I feel like last year was just a really tough year for them with all the injuries to the quarterback position. It just feels like this is going to be a better year for the Giants and that they're going to rebound and bounce back. Now for the Dallas Cowboys. I have them finishing third, and part of it is just because of kind of the dysfunction that's going on right now at this point in time. They still haven't done much, if any, conversations with CD Lamb on a new contract. Micah Parsons is still kind of wanting a new deal. I'm not sure if he's at practice or not. And then Dak Prescott's on the final year of his deal. They got those three guys that are very, very important pieces that aren't happy right now with Dallas. I mean, Dak is probably just whatever, but CD Lamb and Micah Parsons are not happy with what's going on in Dallas right now. And this could do one of two things. This could either motivate them completely and they play hungry because it's a contract year. They want to prove that the Cowboys should pay them. So they play out of their mind, or the unhappiness kind of spreads throughout the rest of the team and they make a lot of mental issues. For Dallas, I mean, I feel like the mental issues are more likely, and that's part of the reason why I have them going finish in third. I also feel like they decreased in the running back room, losing Tony Pollard and bringing back Ezekiel Elliott. And also in the receiver room, they lose Michael Gallup. This is a very weird team this year, and they're going to have a down year. The question is just how down of a year they're going to have. And this leaves the Washington Commanders to finish fourth in the division. Not necessarily because I feel like they're going to be bad. I have them roughly around that 7, maybe even 8 win mark. This doesn't feel like the 2012 team with RG3 that came out of nowhere and won the division. This feels like a team that's trying to find a new identity. Washington has been through a lot the past few years, and now they kind of have some consistency going into it. Say that like Dan Quinn didn't just get hired, but they're still trying to figure out what this new organization is going to be now that Dan Snyder's gone and Josh Harris is in. This is his second year as owner. They're trying to find an identity as an organization as a whole, and this is going to be the first year of that with bringing in Jaden Daniels, with bringing in Dan Quinn. So it's going to take some time, but I feel like Washington is on a correct path, but it's too soon for them to really make a big surprise splash. Going on to the next division, the NFC South. I have Tampa repeating as division champions. Not necessarily because they got tremendously better. I know Atlanta made a lot of great moves, and we'll be talking about Atlanta very shortly. I just feel like Tampa's being very underrated right now. And I still really like Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Vita Vea for the defense side of the ball, Levante David. They still have a really, really, really good team. So I'm not sure. I get why Atlanta is the favorite, but I don't think it's going to work out the way people expect it. With that being said, I do have Atlanta finishing second, and I do have this division coming down to the final week of the season. But the reason why I have it is because I feel like Atlanta is going to start off slow and stumble out of the gate. Raheem Morris is the new head coach. Kirk Cousins gets brought in to be the quarterback, and he's going to be better than Desmond Ridder. They still have Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson, and Tyler Algier as kind of like the main offensive weapons. So if the offense, I feel like, is going to be better, but it's going to take time. And those first 3 to 4 weeks that I feel like they're going to stumble with, I feel like those are the weeks that are going to lose them this division. Again, they're going to be, by mid-season, end of season, they're going to be a really great team to watch. But those first 4 weeks, I see them stumbling out of the gate and kind of having to then adjust. Now, I could be easily wrong about this, and Atlanta just smokes Tampa and wins the division with ease. But I like the consistency and the second year with Baker Mayfield starting, and I do with Kirk Cousins coming in off of an Achilles injury and having to learn a new system. Third place for this division is the Carolina Panthers. I feel like they're going to be better this year because it's really, really hard to be worse than they were last year. Bryce Young now with a proper coaching staff and Dave Canales, I feel like is going to take a step forward in his development. And they actually added some weapons for Bryce Young to throw to. As much as I like Adam Thielen, he's not a true receiver one. Bringing in Deontay Johnson and Xavier Legette is going to provide this team with some nice weaponry. And the defense is a little shaky with them trading Brian Burns, but I still think it's going to be fine. This division isn't that difficult of a division. The NFC South is always like this. The division winner is probably going to be 10-7, 9-8. So I like Carolina. I feel like they could be competitive this year, but mainly because the Saints, I don't feel going to be that good. Saints I have finishing last. I have the Saints being terrible this year. I could see them having a top 7 pick. I just feel like, the Saints are such a weird situation in large part because of the cap situation that they have. I don't like Derek Carr. I don't think he's a fit there. They get rid of Michael Thomas, and they don't really have another receiving option besides Chris Olave. They still got Alvin Kamara. The Saints are just in a very weird spot. They still got Cam Jordan, yes, but their defense is providing questions. I also don't like Dennis Allen as a head coach. I feel like we could be seeing his final days within New Orleans. So, yeah, I don't like the Saints. The Saints this year are probably going to be one of the worst teams in the league, and I would be shocked if they are competitive for this division crown this year. Third division, we're going to do the NFC North, and oh boy, this should be a fun division this year. I have the Lions still winning it, but not by much. The Lions are still a really good team. They're still one of the top tier teams in the NFL. Jared Goff is going to be great. They play like 15 out of 17 games. 15 out of 17, maybe even like 13 out of 17 games outside this year. So the majority of the season is indoors, which is where Jared Goff loves to play. I know Jahmyr Gibbs, as of recording this, did suffer an injury. We don't know the full extent of it. But David Montgomery is still a really good running back. They still have Amon-Ra St. Brown, got Sam Laporta, they still got a good team. The defense is still being led by Aiden Hutchinson off the edge. That's probably where my main concern is can they generate pressure without it being by Aiden Hutchinson? I mentioned this in the breakdown for this division, but Aiden Hutchinson counted for like 75% or more of the pass rush this year for the Lions when it comes to QB pressures and all that. So they really need someone else to step in and be and get pressures. But I still like the Lions. But man, it is really hard not to put the Packers higher than 2. Youngest team in the league. They played phenomenal last year, sneaking into the playoffs and beating Dallas in the wild card. And they're only going to get better. Jordan Love is going. They found another one. I don't know how the Packers keep doing it, but man, he looked good in the second half of last season. I expect him to build off of it. Romeo Dobbs, Donovan Wicks played a great preseason week 1. Christian Watson's going to take a step in development. Luke Musgrave, Tucker Kraft. This offense has so many fun pieces. And then the defense, Jair Alexander is there. They got Rashawn Gary still. They added Xavier McKinney as well as drafted Javon Bullard. Lucas Van Ness played great against Cleveland in preseason week 1. I mean, there's a very, very high chance the Packers win this division. I just think the fact that they are the youngest team in the league is going to bite them a little bit in some of the bigger moments. But hey, you could tell me Packers 1, Lions 2, and I would say go ahead. Because this is going to be a really fun competition. Both of the matchups between those two teams are going to be a must-watch TV. Third place for this division, I have the Chicago Bears. They're going to be better than last year. Caleb Williams looked good against Buffalo in preseason week 1. Again, all of this is being recorded before preseason week 2. I'm excited to see Rome Odunze. I'm not fully sure if he played. He very well might have, and he didn't do much. But the offense, Rome Odunze, they're adding Keenan Allen. I mean, this is still this Bears team is going to be better. Because they won a good bit of games with Justin Fields, who wasn't the greatest. Chicago's going to be better. Though by how much, I don't know. And the production numbers, I don't know. The Bears are still looking for a quarterback to throw for over 4,000 yards in the season and to throw 30-plus touchdowns in the season. I feel like Caleb Williams can be that guy, but it's Matt Eberflus. I'm not high on him. That's my main concern. We'll see how it plays out, but I feel like Chicago could be like a few games behind the Packers and the Lions, or they could be like a mile behind. I don't know. A team that I do know is going to that I'm fairly confident in finishing last is the Minnesota Vikings, especially because we had news earlier today as of recording this that JJ McCarthy is going to have surgery for a meniscus injury. That sucks. I was really looking forward to seeing him this season. There's a chance he still comes back, but it's going to be later, and we're going to see him later than I expected to see him this season. Sam Darnold is now pretty much guaranteed to start a job. And as a Dolphins fan, I watched a good bit of Sam Darnold when he was with the Jets, and he's not the greatest. He can be solid for them. I mean, he has Justin Jefferson to throw to. He has KJ Osborne. He has Jordan Addison. In turn, they're going to be decent. The main thing for this season, though, was to see how JJ McCarthy plays in the NFL, and with this style of offense that Kevin O'Connell runs, we're now not going to see it. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Vikings handle it, but I do still think that even if McCarthy played when I expected him to, which was around the week 7, week 8 mark, I don't think it would have done much for them. Now, the final division, the NFC West. This is much like the Chiefs in the AFC West. This is the Niners division to lose. I know the Brandon Ayuk situation is being talked about to death as of right now. There's potentially a deal with the Steelers. No one really knows. I'm doing this on the assumption that Brandon Ayuk is traded just because it feels like it's going to happen sooner rather than later. And even if he doesn't get traded, I feel like that's going to make them only better. The Niners are still a really good team, and they're still trying to capitalize on the window they have with Brock Purdy being on his rookie contract for at least 2 more years, or for 2 more years. They're going to be paying him soon. So they really need to capitalize on it. They still got a great defense. Their offense is so fantastic. It's the Niners. What much more can I say besides that? This is a year that Kyle Shanahan needs. Right now, his legacy is 28-3, where he was the offensive coordinator for the Falcons, and 2 10-point lead losses to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Shanahan needs to get over the hump himself as a coach and win a Super Bowl. And it needs to happen sooner rather than later because Brock Purdy is going to break the bank. Second place team I have is the Los Angeles Rams. I'm really excited for the Rams this season, in large part because of Puka Nakua's step in development entering year 2. I know they lose Aaron Donald, but I still feel like their defense is going to be good. I really like the draft pick of Jared Verse. And man, it's the Rams. Matthew Stafford's going to bring this team to success. Cooper Kupp is still there. Pretty sure they still got Tyler Higbee. I really like the Rams this season. And it's also because I'm not too high on these other teams. While I do think Arizona is going to be good, I have them finishing third. It just feels too soon for the Cardinals to truly make a difference. They could very easily make the playoffs with Kyle Murray playing the full season. But they don't not having DeAndre Hopkins, which I know they didn't have him last year and all that. They don't have a lot of weapons in the offensive side. And that's the main reason why I'm like hesitant on giving them a playoff record for my for all that. While I do think that they're going to be a fun team to watch and they're going to win a good chunk of games, probably have a 13 to 16-ish pick. There's only so much you can do, or there's only so many times you can have Kyler Murray run around and eventually just throw the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. The defense leaves a little bit of questions as well. So again, Arizona, I like them to go maybe 8-9. With that being said, I have the Seattle Seahawks finishing last, and the main reason being that I think we've come to the tail end of the resurgence of Geno Smith. The rest of the team and the rest of the Seahawks is incredible. DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Tyler Lockett, Dak Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker. Like, they have a really, really, really good offensive room. They have a new head coach. The defense has some questions, although they do have Devin Witherspoon and Tyreek Woolen. I just feel like Geno Smith has gotten them as far as he could, and he's going to continue his regression. He didn't play great last year, at least compared to the previous season. I feel like he's going to continue to show a little bit of decline in play. And because of that, and with Arizona getting better, with Kyler Murray coming back, however I expect the Rams to play, it just means they're going to be last. I'm not saying they're going to go 5-12 or whatever. They'll probably go closer to like 7-10. But it's just the division it's not as easy to win games in the division anymore. So for the offensive weapons can only bring them so far, with Geno Smith taking a downgrade. But yeah, with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe if you're new. A bunch of NFL content throughout the season, live play-by-plays, power rankings, predictions, you know the whole drill with the NFL stuff. So yeah, leave a like, comment down below your thoughts on not only the NFC stuff, but also the AFC stuff, since you see them on there. If you want my reasonings behind the AFC predictions, go check out the previous video, or there will be a title card soon, if not up now. And yeah, have yourselves a damn good one. I will see you next time. Peace.